Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over my top 10 unannounced figures from the G.I. Joe line. Is your favorite in my top 10? Check it out after the break. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. So welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you guys for all the support and love you've been giving me over the last few weeks. It has truly been a blessing, and I can't thank you enough. So since you guys are digging the G.I. Joe content, and I too love G.I. Joe, I wanted to take a minute just to sit down and talk to you guys about my favorite G.I. Joes that I want to see in the line that haven't even been announced yet. So I went to the internets and I found a list of every single G.I. Joe that has been hinted at, teased, officially announced, kind of decoded from code names that have been in like stocking systems. And I think I found a pretty good list on histank.com. And I made sure that none of my top 10 were on that list. I wanted to make sure that these were unannounced figures that I want to see in the line. And these are figures that I'm like, if I get these figures and I own them, then I think, you know, along with what Hasbro has already announced, I'm good. I can stop the line, be happy, because these are my, you know, this will complete my collection. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right on in. So number 10 on my list would definitely have to be Blowtorch. Now I know we've got Barbecue, but he puts fires out. Blowtorch sets fire. So they're a good team. They work together, or maybe they hate each other. I don't know. But I love his colors, the bright yellows, the red. I love his green gun. The air tanks I think would be really cool to see. But yeah, he was one of my favorites as a kid, and he hasn't been announced yet, and I definitely want to see him on my shelf. So number 9 on my list would have to be another Marine that fights in the wilderness, who goes out and fights in the jungle, and that's going to have to be Leatherneck. I always liked him as a kid. I loved his hat, the Marine style hat that he wore. I always loved that he had that gun that when I was a kid we called it an over and under, because it had like the grenade launcher underneath his M16 barrel. I don't know weapons, so I hope that's what it is. And I always loved his backpack too. I think there's a lot they could do with the webbing and his gear and his dual pistols. I love that he's got this silver watch going on. I think he would make a really cool addition to the Joe team. And he's got that killer stash, man. You can't. I know Lenny loves his stashes, so let's get Leatherneck in the field. Number 8 on my list is another. I know that Hasbro right now, you know, with Torpedo and the eels, they're really getting in to the underwater characters. But one of my favorites, it had to be because of the color scheme. I love this color combination. Would definitely have to be Wetsuit. I loved that he came with like the little underwater like gear. I love the face mask that he has on. The colors are just fantastic, and he's got that little jet ski that he grabs with his arm, like the little underwater ski thing. Man, it looks incredible. There's so much that the Hasbro team could do with the storytelling on this guy, and I hope we get this guy soon, because they could really deck him out. He may even have to be like a deluxe figure, because he comes with so much stuff. So I'm sure they'll you know, be able to increase the price a little bit on that guy to give us everything that he comes with. Number 7 on my list is definitely going to have to be Backblast. I loved this guy as a kid. I know I'm probably going to say that for every one of these characters, and I apologize, but he just comes with so much stuff. The triple missile launcher. I love that he. I would hope that the Hasbro team would make one with the helmet come off. Just because he looks so great. And again, another guy with a stash, right? I love that he's got that holster on his arm, all you know, the big bullets, all the bullet belt that goes around him. I love that he's got this notepad for like taking calculations and stuff all over on his leg. There's just so much good stuff here to love about Backblast, and I really hope that the Joe team gives us this figure. Number 6 on my list is Law and Order. Now, I really wanted to put Mutt and Junkyard on the list, but it does look like they already have been announced as coming out. So what's better than another guy with another dog? I loved Law and Order when I was younger. I loved the puffy jacket, the gun and the holster he's got going on, which they can make removable and actually work. I love he's got that badge right there, which looks really cool. The MP on the arm sleeve looks great. I love the reds and the blues and the greens. Those colors don't typically work together in art, but for some reason on this figure they actually work and look great. I love the helmet and that slant back German Shepherd. Oh man, he looks great. I mean, another one for the deluxe category, right? But Law and Order just looks incredible. All right, now we're moving into the top 5. These are my most coveted slots here, and let's see if your favorites make the cut. Number 5, we've got Hit and Run. To me, Hit and Run was he goes hand in hand with my number 1 figure. To me, they were a crew, they were a team, they were my 2 favorite Joes that went on missions together when I was a kid. So we're going to circle back to Hit and Run when we come back to the number 1 figure on my list. But I love Hit and Run. I love the full camo look on his skin. I think it looked really nice, the camo paint on his face. I love the bright red goggles, that pop of color, which I know the Hasbro team would make removable and be able to like bring down. I love that he comes with that backpack that, if I remember correctly, had like a rope in it that you could like pull out and like attach to stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is what happened when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure that happened. I love everything about this guy. Just anybody who repels, has ropes, grappling hooks, you got it. He comes with that duffel bag. Man, it just looks great. This is definitely one of my favorite figures, and one that I had to put in the top 5 slot. Number 4 is another guy with bright colors that shouldn't work but does, and that is Airtight. I love this guy's design. I love his helmet, the bright yellows, the greens. I love his gun, which always looked kind of weird to me with that little scoop cone thing on the end. That really detailed backpack with the fans on it. I think this guy is great, and I hope he's coming down the line sometime in the future, because I think we've seen the alley viper, like zombified alley vipers teased in the background, I think, of Tonal Rat's packaging, or maybe not in the packaging, but in some of the promo images for Tonal Rat. So who better to fight off some zombie vapor disease than Airtight, the hostile environment specialist. This guy just looks great and definitely had to be in my top 5. Number 3. Oh man, my SWAT team specialist, Shockwave. I love this guy. I love his colors. I love all the weapons. I remember he came with that big silver knife, which was really cool. I love that he had the blue weapons, the blue gear, that backpack, just the little hat with the balaclava mask that pulled up. There's just so much to dig about this character, and I know that the Joe team would have a blast bringing him to life in 6-inch scale. So definitely number 3 on my list. Had to be number 3. Number 2 is probably is one of my all-time top 5 G.I. Joes, but they've already made some of my all-time top 5, so I had to put him in this list because he has not been announced yet, and that is Lifeline. To me, he was just, his colors, the bright reds, the whites, the glasses, those bright green glasses, all the stuff he came with the briefcase, the backpack, the communications backpack, just everything about this guy is just amazing. We need more rescue team members, first responders on the team. I love the big rescue down his leg. Just, oh man, there's just so much to love about this guy, and I can't wait for the Joe team to add him to our collections. Oh man, he just looks fantastic. We can't get this guy soon enough. And then that's going to bring us to the number 1 most requested figure for me. He was my all-time favorite G.I. Joe when I was a kid, and he would be number 1 on my list whether he was announced, unannounced. He is my all-time favorite G.I. Joe, and that's Alpine. To me, he worked in tandem with Hit and Run. They would climb mountains. They would go on scaling missions where they needed their grappling hooks. To me, they were like best friends in my headcanon. They worked together. I put them on missions so much as a kid, and I just love everything about this guy. His mountain gear, the ropes, the hooks, his pickaxe, his little grappling hook gun, just everything about this guy is incredible. I think the Joe team would have a good time, like making the hat come off, the goggles come off. I can't wait to see the storytelling they do with this guy. And some of you may have seen in some of my past videos or some of my shorts or some of my YouTube or my Instagram posts, but I actually do have a custom Alpine in my collection. What I did was I bought an extra Stalker body, and I just painted his pants brown, and then I bought this gear from Gridiron Studios, and it's called the Mountaineer set, and it is designed to make your Stalker look just like Alpine. He's got the hat, he's got the goggles, all of the gear, some ropes, the backpack with his grappling hook and gun. It's just, the big knife he's got, the pistol's removable. There's just so much. I think this set was about $30, $35 with shipping, something like that, from Gridiron Studios. I'll put the link to it down in the description below, so if you want to do the same thing with your Stalker. And Stalker's still available online. He's very easy to find around for a good price, so if you want to make an Alpine. But I'm sure G.I. Joe is going to, I'm sure the Hasbro team's going to get around to it sooner or later. But that's it. That's my top 10 G.I. Joe most wanted unannounced figures for the G.I. Joe Classified series line. I hope one of your favorites was on that list. If not, please let me know down in the comments down below who your top 10, your top 5, or even your number 1 most requested unannounced figure is. Please continue to hit us up over at Instagram.com/Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And thank you guys so very much for all of the wonderful support that you've given me over the last few weeks. It is absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. This has been the Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm your host, Mark, and remember, I will see you in the toy aisles.